It happens to all of us. What do you do if you log on to look at your social media metrics and suddenly you notice that your stats are dropping? Your first instinct is probably to panic, but don't. We're going to talk about some steps to take when this happens in this episode of the Library Marketing Show. Hi, everyone. I'm Angela Hursh from superlibrarymarketing.com. One of the things that I love to do on that website and here on the Library Marketing Show is to highlight libraries doing great work in marketing. And we're going to start out today with that. I call it the Kudos Award. I'm going to give kudos today to a library I've actually visited, which is super exciting. We're giving kudos to the Youngstown-Mahoning County Public Library. I will put a link down below so you can see what I'm talking about. They held a Freedom to Read Day recently, and they got press coverage from it. And sometimes when I see this, it's pretty obvious that the library sent out a press release and the newspaper or media outlet has just copied and pasted it. But if you read this article, you will be able to understand that this reporter actually went to the Freedom to Read Day and interviewed a couple of attendees as well as a couple of staff members. Youngstown-Mahoning did something extraordinary to get a reporter there and get coverage on this very important topic, and I want to give them kudos for that. Great job. You might be wondering, can I nominate my library or another library for kudos? You sure can. Just head to superlibrarymarketing.com and click on the Library Marketing Show tab. While you're there, be sure to scroll to the bottom of the page on the left-hand corner to put your email address there so you'll get a notification whenever I post. All right, let's get into today's topic. That terrible moment when you check your social media analytics and you realize your stats are dropping. If you are a longtime viewer of the Library Marketing Show, you'll know that I encourage you to check your metrics at least once a month. And this happened to me recently, logged on and saw stats dropping on the platforms on which I post. And it's totally normal to panic, but instead of panicking, I've got some tips and some actions that you can take to get to the bottom of why your stats are dropping. So step number one, of course, as you're checking your analytics, you're just going to go through the posts that you have done over the last month and see if you can identify when the drop started to happen and if there were certain posts that you thought were going to do really well that did not engage at all with your audience. After you've identified those, I encourage you to do some research. Check Super Library Marketing, check Social Media Today, do a Google search to see if there has been a documented algorithm change in the platform on which you are posting. If so, that's your big clue as to what you'll need to change for the upcoming month with your posts. Tip number 3 is to identify, of course, your top performing posts so you can try and figure out what made those posts work well in this new situation that you have found yourself in. And as you identify those, you're going to replicate those posts in the coming month. So, for example, if you realize that you had a drop in stats on Instagram, except that any Instagram reel that you posted this month did really well, you may want to, for the following month, try posting more reels to see if that helps to boost your stats. Finally, I want you, as a best practice, to be experimenting with the different types of content all of the time. Videos, carousel posts, text posts, single photo posts, graphics, polls, memes, the whole thing. The more the variety of content that you put on your social media platforms, the more likely you are to get effective results, even when the algorithm changes. I am very curious. Have you ever logged on to social media and had a drop in stats? Did you panic? Did you figure out what was going on? Let's get a conversation started down in the comments. I'd love to know your stories about social media panic. And that's it for today's episode of the Library Marketing Show. But my channel is full of other tips for library marketing. If you are interested in learning more, head on over to this next video. I'll meet you there.